We're on.
Here we are.
Here we are.
3
Only,
o'clock.
what, 2 hours later?
Exactly.
Yeah, 2 hours, huh?
Yes. Okay, this is actually a really good topic. And before we get into it, something fascinating happened as soon as we went off the air.
What?
An hour and a half ago. You got an extra detail about the past life you did with Rachel Maddow.
Oh.
Yes. When you were talking about her going to prison.
Yeah.
In that past life.
Yeah. In the past life,
Yeah.
of course. One of the main ministers, I guess you call them, I don't know what they called him back then, pastor, whatever, that was totally against her and didn't like what she was talking about, and actually she was kind of ripping his sermons apart, kind of thing.
I see.
Was good old Mitch McConnell.
God, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
That makes total sense. He reminds me of that kind of... He's still the same. Some people never change.
You're supposed to evolve, right?
Exactly.
Well, he evolved into a bigger pooter head.
Version of
Yeah.
himself.
Mm-hmm.
Which is not exactly a good thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, thank you for coming back and joining us.
Hi, Sade.
You little Emily baby girl.
Sammy's back.
Oh, Sammy.
Mm-hmm.
She's way up there on top. She was right. Number one.
Yeah. But yeah, oh my gosh. I thought that was interesting. So we wanted to bring that up.
Yeah.
So Vera, a lot of us have issues with sleeping.
Yes, this one's about insomnia. Howdy, Purple Fuzzy.
Because it's hard sometimes to relax when there's so much that's going on in our life or so much going on in the day. Or a lot of us have that issue. We'll lay there for like an hour, still waiting for sleep
An
to
hour?
arrive.
That would be a gift.
Yeah, I know, because like sometimes you're up for hours.
Yeah, hours and hours and hours. But, yeah, I don't know what it is about insomnia. I really envy people that could just put their head on the pillow and fall asleep.
Yeah.
And then I think, okay, I need to exercise. Maybe I'll be able to fall asleep. I have more energy then.
So that's not really working.
No, but that's how it goes.
And it's interesting too because we have a friend who has an insomnia issue,
Mm-hmm.
and that was from a past life.
Right.
When he was being tortured, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he had one of those water torture things.
Oh, dripping right here,
Mm-hmm.
and I think he got like a lot of headaches too,
Mm-hmm.
right?
I don't remember if he has.
Okay, maybe I'm wrong about that part.
Well, you're my memory bank.
Yeah. So, but that was past life origin. So
Correct.
for some of us, it's just what we're dealing with in this life,
Mm-hmm.
and other times it's what we're getting cell memory.
Yeah, and it could be a pattern too that you want to overcome, and you have maybe several past lives to get through it before you finally come to work it out.
Yeah, because I remember when you were talking about a friend that you had,
Mm-hmm.
and she wasn't sleeping for days and days, right?
Yes.
So that's really unhealthy. If we
Oh
can't,
my gosh.
we have to
Our
sleep.
brain, we need to sleep. We have to have that respite because we have to work out issues that we don't necessarily work out in consciously,
Oh
right?
yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, we have to dream. Oh my God, we have to sleep. And I know a lot of people say, well, I don't dream. Yes, you do. You just don't remember.
We don't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep, Alma, we're back.
At this
We were
hour?
here.
I know
Yeah.
this is the evening with Angus hour, right?
Yeah, it is.
I was trying to make it a little bit earlier so people that can't make it later because they're out of the country.
I think it's nice to mix it
Yeah,
up.
mix it up a little bit.
Exactly.
Oh, and I forgot to put on community. Oh well.
Oh well.
Too late.
Sorry.
Yeah. So there is several reasons why we have that. There's multitude of reasons why, right? That's why I love working with past lives and with people. It is never boring. Ever, 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 ever. So this particular person that shall remain nameless, I'll just say they,
Okay.
are battling mental health issues with anxiety and insomnia for a long time. And it, of course, after a while, it adversely affects your life, doesn't it?
Oh, it does.
If you
Our
can't sleep-
relationships.
oh,
yeah.
yeah.
I know that we get grouchy. Okay, fine. I get grouchy.
Well, no,
if I
I'm
can't
sure a lot of
sleep,
people-
we're tired. It's hard to get anything done.
Yeah. Yeah.
What
And
were you
it's not
saying?
it's not even about being tired. It's just, you're just on all the time.
That's
it
not
just,
healthy
yeah.
for our minds.
And
We
for
have
people to
relax.
say, well, just, blank your mind, you can't.
Right, because we're not mindless beings.
Correct.
We always have something in our
I
mind.
shouldn't say we can't. We just aren't
We're
able
not
to because
built
of
that
the way
way.
you think. Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you.
So as long as you are able to like push something back and keep focusing on something, that's perfect. Okay, so, and they're saying also that they have trouble getting a good night's sleep even when there's no stresses in their life. When there's no responsibility, no stresses, nothing, everything is working great, they still can't sleep. And then the issue is thoughts are things, right? So then we say, oh, I forgot what I was going to say.
Like we don't want to give energy to anything negative
No,
because we don't want to create. We don't want to focus on a negative.
well,
we
when we
wanna-
just when we just keep saying things like, focusing on God, I hope I can sleep tonight, or I know I can't sleep tonight. That's bringing that anxiety. So
Yeah.
then you don't
we can't sleep.
Yeah, it's a
Right.
catch-22, I say.
Yeah.
All right. So then, let's see. What especially frustrating that they felt also that they had found spirituality
Okay.
a couple of years ago, and they thought that anyone that finds their spirituality, that finally knows their higher self, whatever that is, then they should be fine. Everything in life is great.
Well,
No,
the interesting thing about that
we're in life.
is that we think that once we find these truths, okay, great, we're gonna have it. We're gonna be able to achieve that, and here we are over here the whole time after that. But it's not like that, because Angus was saying we have to learn how to control it because it's always there. And what it is just how being in life on this planet, how negativity can either affect us or we control it to where it doesn't affect us. So it's something that's always there. So to your point,
Well, no, what she's trying to say is that she felt like
she thought that she'd be
since she was become spiritual, her life would be great.
right. That's
And it is. You know more. Knowledge is power. But we came here on a mission to learn, to grow, to evolve spiritually. So we have to have challenges.
right.
Otherwise, stay on the other side.
Even if
Yeah,
you have learned the spiritual truths, we're still in life.
exactly. Because I was kind of going, I don't know where you're going with this.
Well, I mean
got it,
that,
though.
yeah, being
Yeah.
in life still has its challenges.
Of course,
And then-
always. Otherwise, why are we here?
Exactly.
And the spirit, being spiritually in tune means that we have more understanding of why we're going through what we're going through.
right.
Okay, so they understand like the root cause is insomnia, right? And it's anxiety, according to their therapist. It's anxiety and resistance, but they're unable to break free from the pattern. So they just want to know what the heck is going on. Is it past life related? Is it current life? What is it? So what I picked up was, what did I write here? Oh, all the stuff that you can do. Okay. So what I picked up for this person, I almost said it, was that they had a life in London. And the life that the part of, and I don't know what time frame, but it's that part of London that was like really dirty and dingy and, yeah, I mean, if you didn't have money, right? Can we scooch you a little
It
bit?
reminds me of you mean like the Hans Christian
Kind of like
Andersen kind
that,
of
yeah.
stories where people were very poor
Yeah,
and
and
living on
so
the streets.
the father died, and they were living paycheck to paycheck pretty much anyway. So when he died, then there was 5 siblings. So the mother had to go to work and took the oldest daughter with her because they needed 2 people to work for what the one father was doing to make it. But they had to not just have one job; they were working 3-4 jobs to make it.
Especially women
And
you
then
didn't
not
get paid
getting
as much.
exactly. So they had to make that up. So they worked long hours, and then that left my client with 2 younger siblings that they were in charge of. Okay, so they were young. They were
Right.
probably like 7, 8, if that.
Wow, that is young.
Yeah, and I mean, if had they been a little bit older, they would have been working too.
Yeah.
You know, like 10 or something. But there was no one at home to watch the younger ones, so that was their job. So there was not enough money. There's not enough food. This child that was taking care of children did the best they could,
Right.
but was so tired one day they fell asleep. You know how it's like kind of like you're watching
Oh no.
the kids and then you just kind of fall asleep because they were just so deprived of sleep anyway. So something happened to the baby.
Oh,
There was an
no.
accident. They were playing around and this baby fell somehow, and it was like really kind of what they would call a freak accident, even though we know we chart our own deaths, right?
Right.
But they hit their head in a certain way that it was lights out. It's like whenever the fighters get punched in that certain area.
Yeah. Little.
So, okay, right there, the baby died. You were asleep. Baby died. Something bad happened while you were asleep.
Right.
So see the correlation? It's like you don't want to sleep because something bad's going to happen.
Yeah.
You know, and that's when the anxiety comes in too, because it was like the mother, whenever she came home, just let the daughter have it. Like, this is your fault. How could you do, just literally lost it. I mean, she just lost her husband. Now she lost her baby and couldn't handle it. She went nuts. So they had to take her to a mental hospital or wherever they put them in those days. And the children were, well, the oldest one worked, so stayed where she was, but the younger one, they had to go to a working home, I guess you call it.
Oh, like a workhouse?
Yeah, they had to work for their right to eat there, but of course they were mistreated. But they weren't even in the same place.
They weren't kept together.
No. So.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So then, so what happened though? Okay, so that was the part where that negative cell memory comes in, right? Because that's that memory that clicked in this lifetime. There was a trigger in this lifetime that brought that in at the age, right?
I see. Yeah.
So she was working. I can't stop not saying that. Was doing this indentured work, I guess you call it. But she was so good at. She was like a born salesperson. Just knew how to have the gift of gab and knew how to get people excited about stuff. But she was awesome at sewing. So like in her spare time, which because she couldn't sleep.
Oh my gosh.
She couldn't sleep. She was afraid that something bad was going to happen.
I guess.
And that's why this kind of goes along with the Paris Hilton that I wanted to do, though. Really? Because that was an issue with her, because there was a documentary on Paris. But, so she, when she was awake, started designing clothes. And she started, the people that she worked for started seeing that she could sew, and so they started giving her old fabric that they didn't use anymore so that she could design, and she started designing clothes for them.
Wow.
And sewing and sewing them.
Well, that's really cool.
And then she made her own business. She started her own business because she took off from there. Everybody around wanted her stuff.
My gosh, it was. Look at how that was charted, and it became a strength for her. Because
and that's why I said, bring that strength in this lifetime.
Exactly.
You know, and release that negativity of not being able to sleep because something bad was going to happen. It's not in this lifetime.
Right.
You know?
Right.
You're not going to cause somebody else's death in this lifetime. I know other people say, well, there's a potentiality. Of course there is, but it's not in this person's chart to do that. So that's what I was saying. Bring forth that strength you know, that you survive, and then coming back into life again. You guys, us coming back into life again and again and again shows our strength. Because it's no small feat to come into this, especially this planet.
Exactly.
You know?
And what I think is amazing too is that once we have the understanding, that can help us. It's so comforting. Even though it's this life and she's looking she's looking back to this other life, she can see that that was charted. The baby going, as traumatic and difficult as that was to deal with, it split them up. It took them on each of them on their own journey, but for her, that journey wasn't necessarily a bad thing. It was where she was meant to go, because otherwise, would she have had all this extra time and done all this extra sewing and met the people that she was supposed to meet and start her own business? So everything happens for a reason. So it's an amazing healing, isn't it, to have that understanding, but also, like you said, applying it to now, and then when she's falling asleep at night, since we can't necessarily completely blank our mind, she can program to...
I got that later.
Oh, focus on a positive.
But
you go first.
But you can say it later.
Okay.
I just want to get this point in.
Yes, please.
Yeah, because we're jumping the gun.
We're going right in, yeah.
So, the anxiety 2 part comes from that she was always looking for her family and could never find them. So it's like so that's the anxiety 2, is like you're wanting to find something that you can, you know, always trying to search, always trying to look, and that's part of that anxiety 2. So, yeah, so it was hard for her to fall asleep. Yeah, that was it. Go ahead.
Yeah. But really, it might appear to be her fault.
Yeah, and then plus not making, I don't know if in this life, but being able to make a decision and not affect someone's life was another part of the anxiety too.
Oh, that's a big cell memory, I bet.
Huge, huge. So you can tell them what you wanted to say now?
Well, all I was going to say was that when you're trying to fall asleep at night, or even meditating or anything like that, when you're trying to relax and get a negative thought out of your mind, what you can do is refocus it onto a positive. And we've talked before about going to your happy place, whatever that might look like to you or feel like, so that at least it's something that's more relaxing, that might help you to relax and do your meditation, or just be in a positive state of mind, or fall asleep in this case. And you can also be cocooned, which is something that your Powers Angel can wrap their wings around you. But you can even just picture them putting their forehead to your forehead and just being absorbed in this beautiful, just bright light, and just focusing on even just that, lights and colors, that type of thing, to help you relax and focus more on the positive in that sense. Was there anything else from that?
There's not anything else, but I also mentioned, like, there's crystals that you can utilize to help you to be able to sleep, and just seeing them, whatever they represent, you don't even have to even consciously think about it. You just subconsciously, you're getting that message. And the selenite helps calm and instills deep.
Love selenite.
Yeah. What did I write? Helps calm and instills deep peace. That's what it is.
Peace.
Assists in judgment and insight. And there's also tiger's eye, and these ones are really common, so it's not hard to find. Tiger's eye eases anxieties, so you can use that. There's other properties that go along with them, but this is another one that helps with insomnia, is what I'm talking about. And then there's blue lace agate, and that helps you to sleep also. It calms the mind. And that you keep that by your bedside the whole time, especially the blue lace. And then you could spray your, if you're into aromas and things like that and it doesn't bother you, you can spray the room with lavender, or the pillow, whatever it is that you want to do. And you can also call on your...
All good things. I just wanted to show you the Powers Angel. This is the one that can cocoon you. And you notice this blue light and all this white light energy. And the blue is what brings the peace, the serenity. That's the function, is peace. So it's exactly what you're talking about with that crystal, is bringing you peace of mind to just relax. as best as possible. And this is the one that puts their forehead to your forehead and wraps you in their wings. So all that that light is just absorbing you, encompassing
good
you.
one.
Yeah, that's one that I use a lot at night too. Okay.
And then we'll talk more about Paris, but there's really not that much more to talk about because I saw her documentary, and she, in a past life, was Jean Harlow. So that's one, because I know her grandmother mostly, but her mother too, when she was younger, would always tell her, "Oh, you're like Marilyn. Oh, you're like Lana Turner. You're like Grace Kelly," kind of thing. And so they always made her feel like you're so great. You're this. You're a movie star. You're, all that good stuff. But then, of course, being teenagers and in the, what was it, the 90s, whenever she was around, probably, Paris. But when she was like 16, and this is what's weird too, because when she was 16, I guess she like rebelled and started going to clubs and partying and acting like she was 30, kind of thing. But even Jean Harlow, she was married at 16.
Really?
So it's like they kind of know what they want. It's just sometimes it's not in the best interest of them, because partying and doing that when you're 16. She was 16 when she would go party.
Wow.
In the clubs, like, Studio 54. Well, I don't know if that was around then, but that kind of party.
That kind of thing.
Yeah. So her mom and dad decided, well, we're going to put you in. They called it.
It was some type of school for etiquette, right?
They called it a boarding
Supposedly.
school.
Yeah, but
it
sounded
horrible.
bad, like a nightmare.
It was worse than a nightmare. I mean, it was one of those ones where they would, treat you like you were in prison, like you were. Yeah, it was horrible. That Paris had to go to, and there was all kinds of issues
Really
with
bad
that
abuse.
first life and the past life and this life. There was a lot of correlation, but they, in the middle of the night, because they didn't want her to know what was happening, she wouldn't stop partying. Her mom couldn't control her, so they thought, well, this was the best place for her. It was somewhere in Utah.
Right.
And they had these two goons in the middle of the night when Paris was asleep, grab her and take her to this place. And she's screaming. She doesn't know what the heck's going on. She's looking over, screaming at her parents, like, help me. She's running for her life. And they're just standing there crying, not helping her. So right away, it's like, I'm on my own.
Wow.
Can you imagine the trauma of doing that? I mean,
Oh
I
my
understand
God.
you wanted her to stop partying, and thinking maybe that this was a legit, because this was right when these camps, that really was a prison camp, started forming, and they were thinking that if they treat the kids like they're military kind of thing, that they would, fly right after a while. But this place was horrific. So she went through rape, she went through beatings, she went into solitary confinement because she kept running away. But one of the things that she did too that helped her with this, this place that she was in, is when they put her in solitary confinement, all she could think about was how was she going to help herself to where she can make money and not have to rely on her parents ever again.
So she started visualizing and programming how she could be on her
And
own.
she did it. She doesn't need her parents. She doesn't, so she's her own person now. But she has insomnia. Every time she falls asleep, she is kidnapped again.
Right. Oh my God.
So that's part of the stuff that you got to release and let go. It's even in the current life, it could be a been there, done that kind of thing. So I don't know.
You know what I found was fascinating? I found it really, really interesting that didn't Paris say, because I haven't seen the movie yet, but
Documentary.
didn't she, the documentary, didn't she say that she has been like this character that she's portrayed for about 9 years, right? Well, I found it really interesting because in Jean Harlow's life, in her past life as Jean Harlow, she was in the movie industry for 9 years when she died. And I just thought that was fascinating because now
She died when she was in her 20s.
She was 26, yeah. So I just thought, that's interesting.
But her mother in that past life she was the one that wanted to be an actress. And I know Paris's mother, I believe either she was a model or, no, I think she was an actress. her mother had gotten into her and her sisters into the movies early. Because like Kyle Richards is an aunt, and her other Kim is an aunt, and they all were in the movies. So it's like what the mother wanted.
Right.
Instead of what really maybe they wanted. Mm-hmm. So, and that was kind of like with Jean Harlow's too. Her mother was a stage mother.
I found it fascinating because I felt like here's been these 9 years that she said she's playing this character, and now she didn't even plan on this documentary really going there and what happened to her when she was younger about that.
Yeah, and she said playing this role of ditz, that was just a role that she was playing. But now that's what people want. They don't want the intelligent Paris.
Well, I think it's amazing because now it's like she wants to show who she really is. I thought that was interesting.
She's really good at DJing too.
And
so
she's
it's not
very, very intelligent.
Mm-hmm.
And I just found it really amazing because she wasn't sure if she wanted to share what happened to her because she thought it was going to hurt her brand. But then she realized that this is a part of healing her own trauma.
And talk about guys. Just like Harlow, she didn't get the best guys to be married to.
Right, right.
And that's with Paris. Is she just, the guys, because it's like she feels she deserves punishment.
Right, because of what
happened.
Her experience.
Mm-hmm.
But I just thought it was awesome because she was saying that
really,
with
true.
With this coming out, that's cute. But with this,
the documentary,
with this coming out though, she was, saying that she wanted to help. Hopefully prevent this happening from other kids.
Mm-hmm. That's why she did it.
Mm-hmm.
And she still has. And the thing that I really liked about Paris that I never thought she was like, and it's something that maybe the Kardashians should try to do, and maybe they do. I just don't really follow them that much. But she really loves her fans. She gives them time. She gives them attention.
That's great.
Yeah, and she'll sign things, and she doesn't have a problem with it. It's pretty interesting. I didn't think she was like that.
I think that's awesome because I didn't know that either. And then plus, really, that's when we are doing something like how she wants to help prevent this for other kids going through this experience.
And she feels bad that she started this ditzy persona because of the young girls. She feels a responsibility that all they want to do is selfies because she's the original selfie, right?
Right.
She's the first one that ever did it.
Well, she's bringing it up
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so maybe this is just a really great thing because when she's trying to help these other, save these other kids from going through that, it is tapping into her own strength because that's when we can really heal ourselves. Like when we're, like she's trying to fall asleep at night and that kind of thing. But when we focus on helping and saving somebody else, then it brings up our own strength more. And so I just think that's awesome.
And she's still in touch with all the people that she was with at those camps.
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah, so I love that.
It's like a reunion.
Yeah.
And that's cool. That's
that was
really
neat.
cool. So a lot of lessons there.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And interesting too that Harlow was a heavy drinker. She liked to partay. Mm-hmm.
That is interesting. It's things that we chart and then.
But I don't think she drinks now. I mean, Paris.
Mm-hmm.
She might. I don't know.
Well, maybe she overcome that in this life, or
Maybe.
just didn't chart.
The only thing with her though is all she cares about now is she wanted to be self-sufficient. That's great. And then she said, as long as I make it, if I make 100 million, I will be happy. I will stop just working and all that and just help people. No, now it's 1 billion.
Oh,
so it's like she's not
Aspirations.
happy. Yeah, she has to have another goal. But, trying to find someone that you can connect with that truly loves you for you and not feel that you deserve to be punished all the time.
Yeah.
That's part that she has to let go too.
Right.
So that's it.
That's awesome.
So somebody wants me to do
Awesome
who?
lessons to learn from.
Johnny and June Cash. Wait,
Where?
Johnny?
Oh, there.
Carter Cash, yeah.
Okay. Ooh, that's a good one.
Johnny Cash.
We were just listening to Johnny Cash last weekend.
I know.
That's a good one. We'll add it to the list. Well, thank you for sharing, because that's super cool how
Yeah.
it connects with this life. Great example.
Yeah, and that's a different example of why she has insomnia, where my other client has
Right.
insomnia. So there's all different reasons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I just can't stress enough about how awesome it is to be focusing on helping somebody else, saving somebody else from doing it, or helping somebody else to recover from the same type of thing, because our strength is just so empowering, and it takes us out of that mode of where a nightmare like that is still affecting us. That's great. So good for her.
Yes.
And thank you all so much for coming back and being with us today. It's super cool. Spiritual philosophy, angels, and past lives.
There you go.
Anything else, Vera?
That's it.
All right. There's Leah.
That's
All
Leah.
right. We love you all. Have a great week.
She's so cute. She has to let us know she peed.
Yeah.